All the time. We really have no time, especially even if we have study hours mandatory. Practice goes too late, so it's hard to get it in.
Yes, we're on the road a lot, and normally our practices run about 3 hours, and we got classes in the morning, so to figure out time in between that is usually pretty hard.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to get a lot of work done when you have to like travel every weekend, especially if you have to study for a big test or do work for a big project.
Yeah, because it's like 3 times a week and you're always busy. So you're always thinking about baseball, so it's tough to get things done.
It's definitely a challenge. It's a lot more work when you have to manage baseball and as well as school. It's kind of like having a job. It's definitely like having a job. It's like 5 hours a day where you're devoting to playing baseball and getting better at the game. So it's kind of like school on top of a job, basically. So, I like it though.
Yes.
Yes.
It's. I think I'd still be playing baseball, but I don't think I'd be here on this team.
Yeah.
I actually am not on scholarship. I walked on, and I love being on the team. It's definitely worth it for me. I love it.
That it's just a bunch of brothers. Like you have a bunch of older brothers on teams, especially since we have an older team. And it's just like one big family. Everyone gets along pretty well.
Being on the team, I like being on the team because you got a group of guys who are all working for the same goal, and it's fun to be a part of something. Like it's kind of like a brotherhood.
It's great. It's like a family, like a brotherhood when you're on the team. They got your back, you got theirs, and it's just baseball is always fun.
Everybody gets along. It's a good time.
There's definitely a sense of brotherhood. It's kind of cheesy, but we all like have each other's backs, and like I've always loved being on a team setting and everybody doing their job and contributing. So I really like being on a team, especially with the baseball guys.
Yes, multiple times.
Yes, many a times.
Yeah, a couple classes when attendance is required. If we get back real late, I will.
Yes, because we get home late as crap sometimes and just exhausted.
Unfortunately, I can admit that I have skipped class occasionally, once in a while. But that was usually the 6 a.m.s where I'd be up at 5:30 in the morning, and I'd know we weren't doing something important that day in history or something like that, and I'd sleep in a little later.
Yes, much better.
Probably so.
I don't think they'd be that much better. I can pretty much get all my work in.
Yeah, I'd have more time to study because we have baseball 4 to 5 hours a day and it's not much time.
Yeah, I think my grades would definitely be better. I would have a lot more time free to manage that instead of staying up so late every night working on schoolwork.
It helps us because basically we don't have any very many choices what to do. It's just like always a set schedule. It's pretty nice.
Well, it'd make sure you get your stuff done. If I wasn't on the baseball team, then I would have so much free time I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
It helps me stay organized, I'd say, and get all my work done in a reasonable time and get ahead in front of my classes.
Because organization is good. And
Knowing my schedule every day and knowing like I have a certain amount of time to do everything, it definitely makes me focus more. It makes me focus on baseball. It makes me focus on schoolwork. And I have to set out a schedule where I devote certain amounts of time to work on school and get essays done, stuff like that. So, it makes for some late nights, but it's definitely worth it, and I think the structure helps.
They're not amazing, but they're not terrible. They like us to keep at least 2.5 GPA, but they like to see it get above 3.0.
Well, we are required to have a 2.0 to be on the team, and we get rewarded if we get over a 3.0 every semester.
To get good grades, to get above a 2 GPA, which is not that hard to do, but just to not be on like academic probation, that kind of stuff.
Maintain a 2.0 GPA and just stay on schedule. And
they stress that academics are very important and you need to stay on your schoolwork, especially while you're traveling every weekend. It's pretty hard to keep up, but they make it. They definitely emphasize that school is very important.
They benefit you when you actually have something to do, but if you don't have anything to do, they're a waste of time. You just sit around and watch Netflix.
Yeah, I think they benefit us just because it forces us to go in and get stuff done.
I feel like they benefit me, but sometimes you have to come here when you don't really have work done. That's when it starts to become a waste of time.
If you have work to do, then it's beneficial, but if you don't, then it's a waste of time because everybody's loud and obnoxious.
At first, I thought they were kind of a waste of time. Spending 10 hours a week in the APC, that's a lot of hours. But now that I'm down to only 4 hours a week, I kind of come in, I get my stuff done, and I work on what I need to work on. And it actually helps a lot, especially since I'm traveling so much and I don't really have time otherwise.